Hi, I'm Richard from Drive Green, and today we're going to be spending a bit of time with the new Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf's always been a giant in the EV market, and today I'm going to try and share some of my experience with the newest model to help you decide whether it might be the right electric car for you. The Leaf was the car that really started the electric car movement we know today. It was one of the very first lithium-powered electric cars back when it was launched a decade ago in 2011. Then there was its much improved second generation, which ran from 2013 to 2017 with its 24 kilowatt and 30 kilowatt hour battery models. These were both brilliant and great selling EVs and shared the same body styling as the very first original cars. To find out more about the original model, take a look at our in-depth review by clicking the link at the top of the window. At the start of 2018, Nissan launched its new shape Nissan Leaf, a very eagerly anticipated car that was set to lead the EV market at the time. It was another hugely successful EV, being an international bestseller at the time. Even now it's still incredibly popular. In fact, in 2020 it was still the #2 best-selling electric car in the UK, second only to the mighty Tesla Model 3. The secret of the Leaf's success is its almost unrivaled family-friendly practicality. It passes every practical test you care to throw at it. It's big enough but not too big, with comfy seating for 5 people. It has a big boot, it's roof rack suitable, and it's an extremely well-made car. This is why the Leaf is always the firm family favourite. The boot on the original Leaf was nice and big, however on the new Leaf it's even bigger still, a full 20% bigger. So you've got a lovely big boot. The car itself is a very good size. In fact, if you were to pop on a roof box, you've suddenly got an EV that's perfectly capable of being your holiday family car, which actually is quite a rare thing within the EV market. Even today, with all the other EVs hitting the marketplace, the Nissan Leaf is still very hard to beat as the sort of practical family car. The new Leaf comes with a long-awaited facelift. Although I quite like the original Leaf's quirky, look at me, I'm different kind of looks, I think I'm actually in the minority, as most people seem to view the original Leaf as really quite an unattractive car. I guess I can see their point, although looks are far from everything and the original Leaf was still a brilliant EV. The new Leaf has got a much more modern and conventional look about it. No longer is it trying to stand out, but rather it's more trying to blend in, which it does extremely well, and it's made this a very popular car. Very much an improvement over its predecessor, at least that seems to be the popular opinion from the customers I speak to. The interior of the new Nissan Leaf has also had a bit of a makeover. You can still tell you're in a Leaf, however you now have a bigger infotainment screen, generally more modern controls all around, with the possible exception of the dash screen where they've plumped a more traditional analogue display. Like the rest of the car, the interior is very well made, and whilst it doesn't have a premium look, it is modern and definitely of a very high quality. Today we're driving the Tekna, which is the top spec model. The Tekna comes in this sort of lovely, nice sort of full leather interior with suede detailing. It's very nice. The spec level below that is the N-Connecta. Interior wise it looks very similar to the Tekna, however it's a faux leather rather than a real leather. And then the lower spec version is the Acenta, which has a fabric interior. The seats themselves are actually still real nice high quality like the rest of the car, but just not quite as sumptuous as the one we're in now. Equipment wise, the new Leaf is packed full of spec. We'll start with the bottom level, which is the Acenta. You've also got a nice media centre with an inbuilt sat-nav, you've got cruise control, speed limiter, you've got auto wipers, auto lights, keyless entry, you've got a very efficient heat pump powered climate control system, and you've got a winter preheating function so you can warm the car up remotely on a cold winter's day. It does, however, still have the old style Leaf's mechanical foot handbrake, which I must admit I'm not hugely fond of. The next level up obviously is the N-Connecta. With the N-Connecta you get all the Acenta spec with the addition of some driver and lane assistance functions. You've got a 360-degree camera system, you've got that nicer interior, and you've also got heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Then you've got the top spec model, which is the Tekna. Just like the one we're driving here now, full leather interior, all the spec of the other two, but on top of that you've got a Bose sound system. You've got an electronic handbrake, which is actually really, really nice and almost reason enough to upgrade to the Tekna level on its own. And you've also got the what Nissan call their ProPilot system. ProPilot is Nissan's version of, well, say Tesla Autopilot. It's by no means as good as the Tesla Autopilot, however, in the right situation, as long as the car's happy and can see the road markings, it will self-drive for you fundamentally. It will do your adaptive cruise control, obviously accelerating and braking, but it will also do the steering for you. Very useful on a motorway where it does the job very well. However, on the A roads it is a little bit more edgy. It quite often won't be very happy, won't see what it needs, so it kind of cuts in and out. However, it's still a very fun little toy to have on the car, and to be honest, you've really got to admire the tech on a car of this level. A self-parking mode is also available that's capable of both parallel and bay parking, but this is an additional option and is not always spec'd. To add a little bit more complexity to the different sort of spec and trim options, Nissan did a sort of a launch model when they first released the 40 kilowatt models back in 2018. They called this launch model a 2.0, only available on the 40 kilowatts. And what the 2.0 was really, it was an opportunity for Nissan to show off all their new toys, but in a sort of a better value kind of model option than the top spec Tekna. So you've got all of the spec of the Tekna, except you don't have the leather interior and you don't have the Bose sound system. The 2.0, if you're looking at 40 kilowatts and you want to sort of save a little bit of money, it could be a good option for you. In 2019, Nissan put in a long overdue new infotainment system. Whilst it's perhaps not as intuitive as some media centres, it's still a substantial improvement on the earlier media centre, like the one in the car I'm driving now, which I must confess, I do find it a little bit harder to get along with than most other media centres. The Nissan Leaf is currently available in two battery sizes. You've got the 40 kilowatt battery size, which was available on the 2018 cars, starting from the very tail end of the 67 plates onwards. The 40 kilowatt battery will do about 130 to 140 miles of driving range, depending on the time of year and your driving style. Then in 2020, Nissan released their bigger 62 kilowatt hour battery version, which will give the car, 200 miles or upwards of range, which brings it very much in line with all the other emerging sort of high range EVs, which this new Leaf can easily stand shoulder to shoulder with. In terms of what battery size you need, it's very important, I think, to look at your driving lifestyle and try and work out what it is you do actually need range-wise. Obviously, looking at what you're doing on a daily basis, most cars will cover that. However, I think it's more prevalent to look at the frequency and the length of your longer journeys. If you work it all out and you decide, yes, a 40 kilowatt is adequate for me, then there's some savings to be made, because obviously the 40 kilowatt hour battery is cheaper than the 62, plus it opens up the opportunity to look at used 40 kilowatt cars, which obviously are substantially cheaper again. The Leaf is still a very capable long-range driving electric car. Obviously, you've got a very good range to start off with, particularly with the 62 kilowatt battery model. However, it's also very easy to rapid charge a Leaf, because it's so very well supported on the UK rapid charging network, particularly on the motorway network. Every service station has got at least one rapid charger that can charge this car. A 40-minute charge stop on a rapid charge will deliver about 100 miles of extra driving range. It's perhaps worth noting that the charging rate slows the more successive rapid charges you do, which is worth bearing in mind if you are doing 300, 400 miles plus drive, but is of little consequence otherwise. Home charging wise, the new Leaf is a little bit quicker than its standard predecessor, in that sort of 5 hours of charge time on your home fast charger or a public fast charger should give you somewhere in the region of about 100 miles of extra driving range. Drive wise, the Leaf drives really, really nicely. You can really feel its time-perfected design. It's an incredibly smooth and comfy, refined cruiser. Very nice car to drive, very nice car to be driven in. It definitely has a real solid feel to it and a real confident competency about it. Power-wise, the new Leaf is more powerful than the earlier version. They've put an upgraded motor in it, which means actually it really is quite brisk off the line. There's plenty of power there for overtaking. There's plenty of power there for charging up a hill. You know, when it comes to handling and power, you do not feel shortchanged by a Leaf at all. In fact, it can easily compete with any EV at this level. It's also got a few different drive modes in the Leaf. You've got the D and the B mode, just like they were on the earlier versions. In the D mode, the car will coast like a regular car when you take your foot off the accelerator. You've got a B mode where you lift off the accelerator, the car does a bit more of the braking for you, and at the same time sort of adding charge to the battery, what's known as regen braking. Not quite a one-pedal driving mode, but you'll certainly use the brake a lot less, and it's a lovely, nice, relaxing, sedate way to drive. In the new Leaf, however, there is an extra drive setting, what Nissan have called the e-pedal. In the e-pedal mode, it makes the Leaf very much a very true one-pedal driving experience. You push down on the accelerator to go faster, you lift off to brake, and it does it quite fiercely, really. So you'll, in all honesty, in the e-pedal mode, you'll never really need to use the brake. It's full-on sort of bumper car mode. You know, you might use the brake in an emergency if you're not concentrating, but I would say the Nissan Leaf in its e-pedal mode is the most purest one-pedal driving experience of any of the EVs. I'm a bit more used to sort of EVs with softer regen, so I find it a little bit on the fierce side sometimes. However, obviously you can select the drive setting you prefer for the type of driving you're actually doing. So whatever way you look at it, the Nissan Leaf is a really, really nice car to drive. So where does the Nissan Leaf sit now that there's so much more competition on the EV market? I mean, the Nissan Leaf remains an incredibly popular car. In fact, in 2020, it was still the #2 best-selling EV, second only to the Tesla Model 3. So the Leaf, you know, it still does extremely well, and that's because of its track record, you know, its proven history, its familiarity and the comfort that all that provides. So this has led to obviously the Nissan Leaf's continuing popularity, and it's kind of Nissan's reward for being such an early entrant to the EV market, and in some ways paving the way to the electric car industry we know now. The Nissan Leaf is still set to be and remain a giant within the electric car market. The Leaf is undoubtedly a really, really good car. It drives really nice, it ticks every practical box, and it's really good value. When you're looking for a family suitable EV, the Nissan Leaf is really very, very hard to beat. I hope this video has been useful in helping you learn a little bit more about the new Nissan Leaf. If you'd like to find out more, or if you'd like to arrange for a test drive, please do get in touch. Please also make sure to watch our other review videos, and hopefully with them we can help you decide what's the right EV for you. Thanks ever so much for watching.